Boogie, I say this with a lot of reservation. I don't believe so. The LA Rams have been teetering these last 2 weeks in the playoffs. I don't think they walked away with a ton of confidence in their performances that they put together 2 weeks back to back. And now you get the Seattle Seahawks at home, the 12th man, one of the best defenses in the NFL, the best defense left in this playoffs. I don't believe that the Rams can just hover around being mediocre for majority of this game and thinking that they're going to come through on the last second drive with what Seattle has on the defensive side. So if it is close and they need a drive for a touchdown, I don't believe that trend continues.
Yeah, I see why you say it with reservation, right? Both these teams have been so good in so many different moments. But, Dan, how do you see Stafford and that offense attacking the stout Seattle defense and what will be their third match of the season? There's so much familiarity on both sides.
Yeah, we've broken this game down in and out all week. There's 13 personnel, the pressure from Seattle and the way they tackle and their edges and the way they'll pressure. I think one thing that if the Rams are able to look back on and win this game, from a quarterback perspective, you're going to get 3 to 5 chances this game to hit big plays. I do not expect a Week 16 performance again where it's almost a shootout. You got to hit them. You got to hit the big plays because this defense is just too good. And if you drop back and you have these misses, this defense is going to hunt. And so this isn't going to be something where Matthew's got to hit 10 of those explosive throws, but you're going to get a handful of opportunities to make them happen. When they're there, you got to make them happen. I would say the other thing is this. This Seattle team has scored 8 non-offensive touchdowns this year. 8. They've got 5 on special teams and 3 on defense. This is an eyelash game. If you're the Rams, you can't give cheap points away to this football team with this defense at home. That's gotta be a absolute X across the screen for giving Seattle a non-offensive touchdown this game.
Yeah, I mean, this game turned on a punt return from Rashid Shaheed in the second meeting in Seattle. And we watched the way the game started against the San Francisco 49ers for Seattle as well. I do wonder when Mike McDonald watches the tape, it sees the pressure packages of the Carolina Panthers and the Chicago Bears affecting the Rams' protection and Matt Stafford in the way that it has the last 2 weeks. How much do they ramp that up? And a person that I think everyone should be paying attention to is Nick Emanwari. I mean, he's the slot guy that can move around, play second level, be one-on-one with tight ends, add pressure, and he's also involved in a lot of their disguise packages. So I want to see what his utilization will be and how that will affect Matthew Stafford. And it goes to Dan's point about not missing. He'll have opportunities, Matthew Stafford that is, to hit some of these holes in the blitzes and the blitz coverages, but he has to make them count because there won't be many.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, I am so excited for this game. Like, we talk so much about Sam Darnold, Puka, and whatnot, and Stafford, and what defensive players are going to step up and rise to the occasion. Like, Ryan Clark was kind of pointing out, like, which one of those come up and make the huge play, the huge stop. Like, we've been praising this defense all season long. I've been screaming about this defense all season long. Where do they rise to the occasion? When I think about the last Super Bowl winners, the Philadelphia Eagles, what they did against this Los Angeles Rams team, even I wasn't even thinking about that, but against the Rams team, against the Commanders, against the Chiefs. I mean, Cooper Dean, Bond, Jalen Carter. You can circle more moments of those defensive players rising to the occasion in huge moments, in huge momentum-shifting moments, more so than you can for A.J. Brown, Devontae, not Sequin, because Saquon in both beginning of the games of those games had like huge 60-some yard runs or whatever, but like there was just like really teetering moments you can point and be like, that was that was massive. And not just a stop, right? Not just batting the ball down, not just getting a little bit of pressure. I mean, like game-changing moments. Game-changing moments. I wish I aired this takeout when I was talking. I made a Broncos video. Everyone talks about Nick Foles winning, because obviously they have a backup quarterback now with Jared Stum. Nick Foles beating Tom Brady and whatnot. And it's just like, yeah, but then, and also a pretty huge moment. You had Brandon Graham strip sack Tom Brady in the fourth quarter. Like that's pretty massive, right? It takes an army to win these games. It's not just one singular player here, one singular moment either. So, and I've been talking so much about this game, to me is more about Mike McDonald versus Sean McVay, way more than it is about Sam versus Stafford or whatever. And that's where then you zoom in even more and you're just like, so what players make the plays? What players make Matthew Stafford pay for any mistake that he makes? Who knocks that ball free and then you scoop it up, right? You scoop it up, you make them pay. Half this game feels like you're just watching Matthew Stafford jog off to the sideline, just kind of like looking down or staring off into space because you're just knocking his head off. That's what this game feels like it's going to need. In a lot of ways, and I could be wrong, I'm wrong plenty. In a lot of ways, this game feels like it's either won by the Seahawks in a game where you're just like, they controlled this game start to finish. There was never a sense that the Rams were going to win this game or the Seahawks lose a close game. And ironically, this is the exact feeling that I had of the Eagles and the Chiefs going into the Super Bowl. That was really my ultimate take, was either the Eagles dominate the Chiefs. You know, convincing, I didn't want to say dominate because I'm not going to pretend like I predicted that. But they're going to win very strongly, comfortably, or they lose a close one, and they dominated. Obviously, they dominated. And again, it's not to say that the Seahawks can't win a close game. It's not to say that the Eagles last year couldn't win a close game, but it's not that it's not what brings out the best in this team. And this team, I think, really thrives, especially when their defense is just suffocating. This team is absolutely at its best when this defense is in the driver's seat. And I've said this before, and I emphasize this going into the playoffs, that this defense dictates how the offense wants to play. Everything is on the table when the defense is controlling the game. And it's like that for any team especially, but this team is just, they can then pile on. And we've seen it against just the 49ers, both games, for instance. We haven't really gotten that opportunity to see any of that against the Rams. And in the first game, since the offense kept turning the ball over, there was no chance for the defense to control the game. And then, quite frankly, in the second game, the defense was just giving up just play after play after play after play, run after run, pass after pass. And so they were not controlling that game. And then, obviously, you know, we all know how that game unfolded eventually. It completely got turned upside down, but there was no chance for the defense to control that game. And then it put tremendous pressure on the offense. And then there was moments when it was like, okay, convert this. And then it was like, it was a questionable second down call. Then it put too much pressure on the third down. And then before you know it, you're punting and you're just, it's like, I still remember that. It was like a drop pass on second down and then a tough play on third down punt. And I just remember thinking to myself that right there, you're out of step with the game now. You're at that moment, and it was only like in like the second quarter or something. I was like, it already feels like this is going to get out of reach. And to be fair, it was until then things randomly did flip around. Which again, credit to the Seahawks, of course. But it's just like you don't want those moments. You don't want those moments in this game. Again, I'm not going to say that you're going to be able to win this game the way you beat the 49ers, because I think clearly this is a better team, better quarterback, better coaching staff, etc. But that level of game-wrecking moments of big plays, not only 3 and outs, but 3 and outs that feel like, whoa, this team doesn't have anything going for it right now in terms of the Rams. Not just 3 and outs where it's like, oh no, you had Puka wide open and you just overthrew him a bit and you're just like, you're a Seahawks fan and you're just like, oh gosh, yikes. That was a 65-yard touchdown that just could have happened, right? You're like, woo, okay. Good stop. Good stop. Okay. You know, all right. Like you don't in those moments, you don't necessarily feel great about the Rams getting the ball back next possession. You're like, oh gosh, that got lucky in that one. You want to have some of those 3 and outs where you're just like, that's right. You cannot move the ball. You hand the ball off and you go a half a yard. You're like, is that even a half a yard you just got there? I don't think so. No, that better say 2nd and 10. I don't want to see it say 2nd and 9. That's you know what? It's actually 2nd and 11. Let's go. Put the pressure on that team every single down, every single down, and then you start forcing turnovers. We saw how fast things get disrupted for this Rams team. We did. Just no other team was able to fully take advantage of it. But we've seen it against the Panthers especially. We saw it against the Falcons. Like when things are disrupted, they get a little crazy. Matthew Stafford can get disconnected quite quickly once he's out of rhythm with this offense. Like it's hard for him to kind of get back into it. He's an elite player. He's unbelievable. He's special. No doubt about it. But if you disrupt him, if you get him out of rhythm, that is clearly not where he's comfortable. Clearly. I think we almost take for granted just how special some of these other quarterbacks are when they do just kind of drop back and get to just, play a little bit looser. Even the ones that don't even execute at the high, like Matthew Stafford plays, or at a from my viewpoint, at a higher level than say a Jordan Love. But off script, when things are a little wonky, it's like Jordan Love can be better in those moments. Like that is just not something that Matthew Stafford is good at. Lamar, again, I'll take Matthew Stafford over Lamar Jackson. That might sound controversial. I don't think it is. Personally, but when things are a little weird, when things are a little random, there's a lot going on and you just can't get in rhythm. It's like, I'll take Lamar. There's just a more smoothness of this. I don't want to just say off script, but just out of sync, out of rhythm, that I just see other quarterbacks be able to overcome in a way that I think, because since Matthew Stafford really is true, that true old school rhythm and timing quarterback, that you disrupt him, things get wonky. As you can even see, I didn't even realize this at the bottom. 27 total QBR when pressured this season, 17th in the NFL, right? He becomes literally by definition below average. That's pretty funny. I honestly did not see that at the bottom. So that honestly, that proves the point right there that I'm kind of running around. You disrupt Matthew Stafford, you win the game. You get him out of sync, out of rhythm, you win the game. And things can pile on kind of quickly, especially as long as your offense isn't giving it right back. You can't force a turnover. You can't force disruption. You can't force 3 and outs and then have your own 3 and out and then have your own interception. Even if it is a pass to the 10-yard line and it's intercepted, falling back into the end zone where you're just like, what are you doing? This game is going to feel, from my viewpoint, unless the Seahawks can control it, every single throw, every single play, every single drop back is going to feel like the final play of a game, 4th and 4, where you're just like, you just know you can't survive a drop. You can't survive a 3-yard gain. The game's over. You got to get at least 4 yards. When they throw the ball and there's that second where you're just like, where's the ball going to go? Is someone open? Is not. Even when you see it that the receiver's open, you're like, is it a good throw? You see that it's a good throw, and you're like, are you going to actually catch it, or are you going to bobble it and drop it? When you see the contact from the defender and you're like, are you going to hold on to it? Are you hugging it? Are you falling down? Do you maintain possession? Like, what is it? Every single play is going to feel that way. Every single snap is going to feel that way. And I firmly believe that the Rams are better equipped for that moment, for those moments, for that pressure, for that stress, in a way that I don't think the Seahawks necessarily are. But if you get some of that separation, the Seahawks are set up in a way that I don't believe that the Rams are to just pile on, which is why we saw what we saw against the 49ers, which is why we've seen so many of these games with the Seahawks where once the score kind of breaks open a little bit, it's an absolute avalanche because the offense knows how to pile on and the defense knows how to pile on. I think we've seen that throughout the course of the season. And I think that's what you want. That's when you're at your best, and you want to be at your best in the most important game of the season, the NFC Championship game. So, if you can play in on your own terms and conditions, you win this game, and you win this game convincingly. So yeah, and it's funny too because I just realized this. Sean McVay is second in the NFL in winning playoff games, 3 or less. So again, that also kind of proves and emphasizes my whole rant about what I'm saying right now. So find a way to disrupt. Find a way to disrupt. I am so pumped for this game. I am live streaming this game. I cannot wait. Oh my gosh. This game is everything. This game is what the NFL is all about, man. This game is what the NFL is all about. And I know you know where the powers at be. The masses, the talkers, the walkers. We all know how they want this game to unfold. We all know who they want celebrating. We all know it. We all know it. We all feel it. We all sense it. We know. We know who they want to be. The bride compared to the bridesmaid. We know it. We know it. We feel it. We sense it. We see it. Will it be? They wanted the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl last year. Boy, did they not want the Eagles too? Can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Seattle Seahawks taking on the Los Angeles Rams? What they need to do to win this game defensively? How do they disrupt Matthew Stafford? Who steps up defensively? Not about Jackson Smith and Jigba, not about Cooper Kupp, not about Sam Darnold, not about Clint Kubiak. Who steps up defensively for this Seattle Seahawks team? Who makes play? Not Rashid Shahed. Who steps up? Who elevates? Who rises to the occasion? Who punches that ball out of Matthew Stafford's hands and then dives on that ball to recover that fumble? Who does it? Who scoops that pass off to a wide-open Puka Nua only to have it snatched out of the air? Who does it? Let me know. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.